Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Jenny Clairvoyant Time. Today, we are going to be addressing the big question of what are my psychic gifts, or do I have psychic gifts? So, that is a question that I get all the time. And I have really good news for you. You don't actually have to pay me to find out what your psychic gifts are. I have a link in the description that that will take you right to the application for getting a free assessment. And so you can have some free time with me to find out what your intuitive gifts are and how you can expand those. So here's the thing. A lot of us have some deep rooted stuff that gets in the way of us having access to our gifts and knowing what our gifts are. So there are 3 steps that secret psychics, if you are an intuitive, but you keep that secret. So there are 3 steps that secret psychics need to know in order to get out of their psychic closet safely and align with their soul purpose and their soul's light. So that is what I'm all about. My whole world is called Align Your Light, and it's so that you can get totally aligned, all of your chakras, all of your energy, all of your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions completely aligned with your soul's blissful light. So, what are those 3 steps? Number 1 is you need to learn what your gift is. So that's why I offer a free assessment. You just have to fill in the application questions, and then we will find out what your gifts are. And then number 2 is the way to get out of your psychic closet safely is to find a teacher that's safe, somebody that has a strong, clear structure, somebody that you feel held by, and that you feel like you are empowered to activate your own psychic energy, and that there's no drama. So, a safe teacher isn't going to be whipping you up into some kind of fear drama where you need to take a class, or, you know, the kinds of things that make you feel like, oh, if I don't do this, then bad things are going to happen. That's a fear drama. So finding a teacher that you can trust that works from a foundation of unconditional love and empowerment, that's what you want to do. You want to find a teacher like that. Okay, number 3 is you need to remove all of the past life trauma and all of the hidden trauma that gets in the way of your knowing. The reason I call it past life trauma is that in all of my years of working with clients, most of whom are intuitive beings themselves, there's this theme where we have in our past, because let's think about it for a minute. For the past several thousand years, women's intuition has been under attack. We have been, our intuitive nature has been totally suppressed and punished, severely punished. Not only just us, as women, in past lives, not only just us, but our families, our neighbors, whole entire communities have been punished because there's somebody who's intuitive or is a healer, and then they're tarred and feathered as a witch, and then everybody that's connected to them actually gets whipped up into that punishment as well. So there's a lot of past life trauma that really needs to be cleared out of the way so that we can feel allowed to know what our intuitive gifts are, to connect with them, and to actually use them safely. Because along with that past life trauma, it's not just that it blocks us from knowing or blocks us from accessing, it actually attaches negative fear kinds of things onto our intuitive abilities. So even, sometimes we dream about things that are scary and then they come true. Those kinds of things can be traced often to past life abuse or traumatic experiences that were unresolved in that past life. And so they came forward to be cleared in this life. But that kind of negative energy can really attach to our psychic channels. And then when we open those channels, that negative energy calls in other negative energy because it's a match, right? That's the law of attraction, that like energy attracts like energy. So it's really important to clear that past trauma in order for us to not bring that into our psychic practice and our psychic experience. So those are the 3 things that we need to do in order to get out of our psychic closet safely and really align with our soul's brilliance, our soul's light. Okay, so that having been said, I have several classes coming up. You can check them out on my website, Align Your Light. And here are the ones that I've got coming up right now. I have a class called Open Your Akashic Records, and that is exactly how to get up into the Akashic layer of superconscious. So like that higher consciousness layer. And in that higher consciousness layer, we can access our own soul's record. So we can work on past lives. We can do healing in the Akashic records. Oh my gosh, and all of the healing work that I've done, I have seen people that have had like unresolved injuries and things like that show up in this lifetime in their bodies. Their physical body feels pain in some places, or they have trouble with their spleen for some reason, or they have, something or another, their back or their leg. And I've helped people clear that stuff just by cleaning up the past life that was crying for attention and crying for clearing, resolution. Okay, so opening up your Akashic records can help give you access to those kinds of things and resolve old unresolved stuff that that doctors maybe have never been able to quite satisfactorily fix. And there may be some roots to that in your deeper past. So the Akashic Records isn't just for looking at past lives. The Akashic Records, you can open the Akashic Records and, your own records, and then channel amazing art and music and writing. All kinds of creative endeavors can come through the Akashic layer, and it's incredible what can come out. It just flows. If you've ever experienced writer's block, if you're creative, and even CEOs and top earners are using not just the Akashic Records, but they're using meditation and reaching those higher frequencies in order to tap into their intuitive clarity. And the pathway to the Akashic Records is just a surefire, consistent, opens and works every single time access point. And so that's why I teach that. Okay, I'm also going to teach a technique for using the Akashic Records to manifest what you're wanting in your life while you're asleep. Wouldn't that be great? You could just go to sleep and manifest stuff. Awesome. Okay. The other class that I'm teaching, and it's coming up really soon, is called Heal with Energy. So in this class, what I'm going to be teaching you is all kinds of stuff about your energy system, your chakras, your energy meridians, your whole energy body, how everything works together, and your energy field, also your emotional body, your light body, how all those things intertwine and affect each other. And we're also going to be becoming really fine-tuned with how you can feel your energy and feeling where your energy is out of alignment and how to get it back into alignment. We're going to be working on chakras, chakra balancing. assessing whether or not the chakras are in balance or not in balance. We're going to be working on chronic conditions. If you have any chronic health conditions, and that includes mental health like anxiety, those kinds of things, or chronic pain. We're going to be working on how to relieve those chronic conditions, how to find where their roots are and resolve those roots. We are going to be also doing Reiki attunements. I am a Reiki master, and so I will be attuning your energy system to receive the vibrations of Reiki. It's not going to be a full class because we won't have time for that in this course, but I will at least be able to attune your energy to receive those Reiki vibrations of healing. The other thing that we're going to be learning is how to test your supplements for effectiveness, and to remove the barriers to knowing, remove your barriers to really being able to feel your own energy and work with it. Because that's always a big part of this intuitive work is, when we bump up against not being allowed, or I'm going to get in trouble, or, those kinds of fears that come up whenever we tap into our intuition, especially as women. Okay, another class that I'm teaching that's coming up is Connect with Crystals. And in this class, we're going to be working with crystals in a bunch of different ways. It's so fun. I love working with crystals. And what we're going to be learning is crystal divination. It's really similar to using tarot cards, but you're using crystals to get answers to your questions. That's really fun. We're also going to be doing crystal programming. So we're going to be programming our crystals or contracting with our crystals for certain jobs that we want them to help us with, like protection, like keeping a space energetically clear, and which crystals are really good for those kinds of jobs, and how to actually connect with them in such a way that you're doing this contract or this exchange. Because whenever there's a contract, there's an exchange. So when you're contracting with a crystal to help you with something, you need to be able to give it what it wants in exchange. Okay, so we're going to learn all about that. The other thing that we're going to be doing, which I'm really super into, is crystal whispering. And basically what that means is that you're going to be able to really deeply listen to what your crystals are telling you. And so basically this is how to perceive what your crystals' vibrations actually mean. So if you've ever looked at a list of how many good things amethyst is good for, how many things amethyst does, all the different qualities that it has and everything that it can help with, it's about a mile long, right? So what we're going to be doing in this crystal whispering part of the class is discerning what your particular crystal is telling you, because crystals come from all over the world. Crystals like amethyst can come from many different places in the world. And in each of those places, those crystals have certain qualities that are different than the other ones. In fact, even in, say in Mexico, there are crystals, but there are different parts of Mexico that you can find amethyst. Let's just use amethyst for an example. So even in different parts of the same country, the crystals that, like let's say amethyst, can have different qualities to it, different healing qualities that it just has a natural affinity for. And then there's your own energy and what your energy reaches into that crystal to request help with. So this connecting with crystals is really about how to work with crystals with your own energy to get the most out of them. Okay, one more thing that I want to tell you about in the crystal class is that we're also going to be setting up some crystal grids. And this is really fun. You can set up crystal grids for sweet dreams, for gentle dreaming, if you have nightmares and things like that, or if you need extra protection while you're sleeping. We can set up a grid for that, and guess where it goes? under the bed. If you don't have an underneath to your bed, it can go next to your bed on the nightstand. But we're going to be talking about placement, about how to set up a crystal grid for whatever kind of work you want it to do. If you want it to be expansive, there's a certain way to set it up. If you really want it to be inner, like inward and work on things inside of yourself or inside of your home, there's a different way to set them up. So that's going to be a really fun part too. All right, that's what I have listed right now on my website. There are a few other classes coming up that I don't have on my website yet, but if you're interested in those, we can talk about them. One of them is how to recognize and remove attachments, including portals, vortexes, entities, demonic beings. I mean, we go into like all kinds of stuff. And that class is a little bit advanced, so it's more for people who already have some experience with psychic work and healing work. So there's that one coming up. There's also learning how to become a professional psychic. And in that class, we will be using the Akashic Records as sort of the foundation. But in that class, we'll be really diving into all of the aspects of actually having a clientele, how you develop a clientele, and that includes ethics, and it includes how to get clients. And in that class, I will be providing practice clients for you. And also, I love using the model earn as you learn. So during the class, you're actually going to start earning back the investment that you make in the class. So all of those classes are what I've got coming up. Just reach out to me and set up an appointment, and we can talk all about it and figure out which is the best class for you. Whew, all right. Awesome. I hope you guys have a super fantastic day. I adore you, and I will see you in the next video.